And while some may see them
as the crazy ones,
we
see genius.
It is the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. Arthur Schopenhauer. I was looking at my first video, the first episode of my YouTube series, Becoming a Chief Executive Officer, a CEO, un PDG en français, pour ceux qui sont français, parce que ici, cette chaîne parle de nombreuses langues. For my French subscribers. I was looking at it and I thought to myself, I should do an analysis of this video, shouldn't I? Yes, I should. That's the right answer. So I came up with the second episode of my YouTube series, analyzing the TV commercial by Steve Jobs for Apple Computer and analyzing mostly the geniuses who appear on the screen while we play this video. So to start off, we must talk about Steve Jobs, the man himself who created Apple Computer, that's nowadays the most valuable company in the world, worth more than $2 trillion. So he's going to be the main inspiration for our series, maybe, or Elon Musk. For now, our inspiration here in the video will be the man who really invented Apple, the biggest company of all time. So this is arguably the best CEO of all time. In this series, I am the CEO of this channel and of my companies. So he's one of my inspirations, and I read a biography about him from Walter Isaacson a few years ago. Indifferent. Apple Computer. Albert Einstein, we already have the biggest genius, arguably of all time. I would say Leonardo da Vinci, who was known as the relentlessly most curious person of all time, could be the biggest genius ever. But here we have to acknowledge Albert Einstein for having revolutionized physics and the theory of relativity. By the way, his Nobel Prize wasn't for the theory of relativity. You should know it if you went through school and you paid attention to your enseignement scientifique teacher for the French viewers. Write it down, because here the YouTube channel is not only about entrepreneurship but also about culture. So Albert Einstein didn't receive his Nobel Prize for the theory of relativity. He actually received it for the discovery of electrons. So here we have him, Albert Einstein. Also, wir sprechen Deutsch, aber this video is going to be in English, but das ist Albert Einstein. Il faut prononcer bien, you have to pronounce it correctly. Albert Einstein. So here we have him. So let's keep going with other geniuses. And he also has a biography, as well by Walter Isaacson, if you want to read it. And we actually left the video. Wait a second, please. Because we have some technical issues. We're back. Stronger than ever.
Here's to the crazy ones.
Bob Dylan, a musician. Let's keep going.
The rebels.
The rebels. And after the rebels here, we have a remarkable person in the history of activism for equal rights, Martin Luther King. I have a dream that one day my 3 little children will live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Here we have Martin Luther King, who definitely fought for the for human rights and equality, and it's definitely an inspiration for us during this series. As someone who definitely more than challenged the status quo. I have a dream. I have a dream to become a chief executive officer in Monaco. Only in the Eduardo Varane Spadori YouTube channel. The troublemakers. Here's for the crazy ones. The rebels, the troublemakers.
The round pegs in the square holes.
The round pegs in the square holes. You see the shapes joke? Well, Richard Branson here. I need to explain. An entrepreneur who went to the moon with his company 1 year ago. Another entrepreneur and another CEO, because here we get inspired by the best. Eduardo Varane Spadori is all about the best content ever.
Who see things differently.
John Lennon from Beatles.
They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for this.
One of the main aspects of genius is creativity and innovation. And the guy that was on the screen, let me see if I can get back to him. He was Buckminster Fuller, and he was an inventor. So inventors like him, and also Thomas Edison, that's going to appear in this video, as we saw on the first one of the series. If you didn't see it, go watch it immediately. Are going to appear, and they're also an inspiration for us in terms of creativity and innovation. So, inventor. Yeah.
For the status quo.
Now it's the man, Thomas Edison, who had the biggest amount of patents in the history of humanity in the USA, actually. I don't know if in other countries as well, but probably. He had 1,093 patents, I think. I don't know if the record is already broken, but give the Guinness World Record to this guy because he deserves it. He created the light bulb, and he was able to monetize his passion, and that's one of the most important factors for geniuses, because if you can monetize your passion, then you'll be able to focus yourself on it completely to the fullest, and not have to worry about financial issues. And this guy was able to monetize his passion. So definitely that's what I am very interested in while I am a CEO. Eduardo Varantes Padori, the CEO of Monaco, the official YouTuber of Monte Carlo. 1 second for our channel to come back, and here we go. Now it came back to the beginning. No problem. 1 second, because we have no problems. We have no technical issues.
Square hole.
Everything here is planned to the maximum.
Ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them.
Okay, I accidentally skipped the rest of the video. Let me go back. But as you saw, Muhammad Ali was there. And I don't even need to explain who he is. He is the world's most famous boxer of all time.
Disagree with them.
Probably Muhammad Ali.
They're not fond of rules.
They're not fond of rules.
They have no respect.
No respect
for the status quo.
For the status quo.
You can quote them.
You can quote them.
Disagree with them.
Disagree with them.
Glorify or vilify them.
Ted Turner, who revolutionized cable television. We're talking about revolution here.
About the only
the first woman to appear on this Steve Jobs video, Maria Callas, and she was an opera singer. Also here, so different areas we have here, geniuses from different areas.
You can't do is ignore them.
Mahatma Gandhi, and to my Indian audience here, I think it's the first Indian in this video. So Mahatma Gandhi, together with our Martin Luther King, one of the biggest activists in the history of humanity for equal rights, for freedom, and definitely one of those who completely challenged the status quo, who had absolutely zero respect for the status quo. His name is Mahatma Gandhi, and he is one of our inspirations for this.
Because they change things. They put.
And here is the second woman of the video.
Human race.
She was an aviator, and she was the first woman ever to cross the oceans. So write her name down if you didn't know her. She is called Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart. So she was the first aviator to cross the ocean, and first female aviator to do it. Inspiring story.
And while some may...
Alfred Hitchcock, who produced lots of movies, he was the master of suspense in the film industry. So another inspiration for us.
See them as the crazy ones.
Martha Graham, choreographer.
We see genius.
Jim Henson, who was a climate activist, just like Greta Thunberg. Well, here we have Frank Lloyd Wright, who was an architect, and he also revolutionized his area.
People who are crazy.
Engineering, architecture, No need, no words to explain who this man is. The Spanish bull. No, I'm not talking about Rafael Nadal, but about Pablo Picasso, one of the world's most famous painters of all time, who painted Guernica after the Spanish Civil War, after the attack of the Nazi in the city of Guernica in Spain. Here we have him, and he definitely one of the greatest painters of all time, who revolutionized completely the art world. And also he created Cubism. If you're interested in arts, this is the channel for you as well. This is the channel for everyone who wants to grow in life. Definitely.
I think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Are the ones who do. And it's the end of the video. And think differently. Well, this is definitely one of the most beautiful and inspiring videos you ever see. And as the official CEO of Monte Carlo, the official YouTuber, I believe it's my duty to present to you how to think different, how to challenge the status quo, and to inspire you to go chase your dreams. And my dream is to become an entrepreneur. So what I have to do is to think different. Therefore, for the last time, we have to play this video again. Yes, let's go.
Here's to the crazy ones. The misfits. The rebels. The troublemakers. The round pegs in the square holes. The ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. But the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them
As the crazy ones,
we
it's
see
the genius.
Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Think different.